Start recording. So I'm recording on my desktop. Okay. So let's just start. This is the Excel screen, and how you start, you already know because you are already working. And on this screen, we have pretty much, blank space and lots of option on the top head. And this may be different in terms of the version you guys are using on your personal laptop or on your office laptop or system. So don't go by this like this option is not on my screen. So just be cautious. This option just shift by menus. Okay. Anything you were saying, Lakshay or Mohit? I just heard. Yes. Okay. 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 Just hold on. I think Gautam is also trying. Okay. Okay. Let me add. Hello, Gautam. Welcome. So we just started and we are also recording on OBS, and we just had an introduction, I mean a brief introduction about everyone in this room, and I have Lakshay and Mohit only for this session. And we just started with the basic things. Um, Anything, Gautam, you want to add, or we just good to continue? Okay, okay, fine. Oh, then I'll talk to you later. And thanks for joining this call. Okay, so guys, as I was just describing the thing in terms of the look and feel, the blank space, and at the bottom, this is where we see a sheet one. This is simply a sheet name, and in the layman language, this whole things work in spreadsheet, convention. So basically, this is a workbook, and under the workbook, we have worksheet. So it can be sheet one, it can be sheet two, it can be sheet three, and you can go one by one. So if you want to add five, you want to add 15 sheet, you can add. But there's a limit. I'll tell you later. Going back on the screen, we have pretty much, a box which is right now I'm highlighting on my screen. And these boxes are called as cell, or you can also call as record. Now every record or cell has some positioning. When I say positioning, if you understand the math, graphs, x and y coordinates, the same thing work here. So if I'm clicking anywhere on the screen, for example here, there's a small box which is showing the name or basically the position of the highlighted or selected cell. It says H3, where H is the column. So that means everything starting from A, B, C, and goes on is the column name. And when I say 1, 2, 3, these are the row number. And why we need to understand like what is the cell value. So this is the thing we need to use when we use formulas. And we need to be very particular like where we are applying the formula. For that, we need the referencing. And for referencing, we need to understand how the cell positioning works. Am I clear till this point? Any question? Okay, great, thanks. Now, as we have understand, like this is the positioning of cell, and we can have, a right position, or instead of selecting by mouse or arrow key, I can just straight away type something. Like for example, H3 and enter. Automatically, my cursor or highlighted cell will get selected. So this is vice versa. So if I can provide the address or I can just select the cell. So these things are working, and this also called as name box or address box. However, the main function start from this long bar, and this is a functions box, and you also see the fx sign, and this is where we write the formula. And before we go on the formula, let me also tell you that every column which is designated by alphabets have a limits, and which is at last xfd. In the column, the max is 10,48,576. Now these are the limit. That means you have to do everything inside this particular sheet range. And in most of the cases, you will not require more number of column or more number of rows that has been set by the limits. So uh, we are clear, we are clear on the limits. We are clear how the address of the cell work, how the positioning is work. So let me write something. Um, Name, then score, and then max score. I'll write Mohit, Lakshya if I am spelling it correct, and myself. And score, let me give you a 90, 95. Sorry for Mohit. And for me, I'm good at 80. And then max score, definitely 100. Now, I have just written some of the names, the score that they have obtained, and out of which max score. So this is pretty much very small data that I'm writing on my screen, and we are going to just understand how we use more, things. And after this, we are just going to move on various tabs, and this is where we are going to use various tabs. So as I said, this is a function. So let me write something. I want to write a divide or calculate the percentage of obtained marks. So anything you write in the formula, it should be start from equal to sign. If you write something else without equal to sign, it just be a text. So if I have to write a formula, I'll start with the equal to sign. And then basic maths tells me that whatever you obtain out of, I mean divide by, what is the maximum marks. So I'm just selecting by using my arrow key or mouse key. You can straight away enter and you'll see zero point 0.9. But on a report card, it will not be good to see zero point 0.9. I should be seeing like 90%. So where we will get it? So let's go on the home section. Now in the home section, pretty much what you need on a daily basis or more frequent basis has been placed by the Microsoft platform, where you see a paste, a cut, various sign. I'm not going to go one by one because that is going to be too much confusing. I'll go by, the famous one. So this is how you, I mean, want to select a font. What is the size? Great, small, bold, italic, and underline. What kind of a border you want? What kind of a fill you want? What kind of a font color you want? Where you want to place? For example, the name, I want it to be in center. So when I click on the center, so just go in the center. Then, then score, I'll just select on the right. And then on the max, let me hit again in the center. So this is how I am basically doing the formatting. And you can see the major section is called as alignment. So where you want to align these things. And then merge center is something when you want to combine the text. For example, if I write here or before a writing, let me select these three cells and click on the merge center. So I'll just write student So now what is happening? The address of this particular D1, E1 and F1 has been combined. But if you see the name box, it says D1. That means D1 taken the portion of E and F. And now E1 is not there, F1 is not there, D1 is entirely set up to next two cell values. And that's how the merge works here. Now there's wrap text if you want, if you have something, a bigger text. For example, if I write student score card, and this is main thing to start, and you see everything has been mumbled up, so I am not unable to understand what what this particular thing is saying to the user. So here if I click on the wrap text, what it basically wrapping things in a very small section, but still it is not visible. So I just click on the row level panel until I see a sign which is an up and down row or arrow, and just click and hold your click and then move down and release it. You will see every test is being displayed in a correct manner. And now I can also just do alignment if I want to. The next section is the formatting of what thing you want to display. For example, these are the numbers, but here it is says it is a general thing. So if you want to be a very particular in terms of the formatting, for example, your organization works on financial figures, and in these cases you are not going to use a general for the numbers. You are going to be very particular. Is it a percentage, is it a float, is it a decimal, and at to what decimal it is. So for everything, every need or a currency, you have a number section. So let me choose a number, and you will see this is basically putting extra zeros, so I can just remove by this. But now this is straight away a number. So no formatting will be changed once you play with it in terms of the formula. Or even if you are doing a copy paste, the format is also going to be paste if you want to. Then the next section is styles. Very, very interesting thing. And whenever I tease this particular section, the student most of the time play with it, and I want you guys to play with it, that how this could in terms of you know with the color option. So let me first of all bold it so that it looks good, and for that I'm just going to highlight and click on B, or I just press Control plus B. Okay, now I want to select from 90 to 80, and then going to click on condition formatting, and there's lots of options: highlight cell, top cell, data bars, and we will cover lots of things. But for now, let me select very basic requirement. I want to highlight any value which is below 90. So for that, I just going to select the highlight cell values. So less than is the right option. I want it to be highlight for anything which is less than 90. Once I'm writing, while I'm writing, you will see this particular cell has been highlighted. In my case, it says that there's some problem because the user had decided to highlight certain situation. And the situation is whoever scored less than 90 should be highlighted, so that if there's 1100 student and I want to just in terms of the user interface, I want it to be make very understandable, that which I need to pick from the list. It will be easy for the user. Okay, till now, any doubt, any question, any confusion? Okay, okay, I'll repeat it. So, for example, I select the L5 and I have lots of text. And when I say lot of text, that means I have a requirement. I need to, mention something. For example, this particular, let me highlight it, and I'll give you a situation. I need to tell user that this particular table, okay, what it is this for. I mean, I want to display some information. I want to add some text so that it tells what it is. So I just write something. This is student scorecard, okay, and this is a sample data to apply color condition, and this is for test case. Now, do you see? I mean, we don't have everything in this situation, and I'll let me unwrap it. Now, in the formula bar, you see everything is there, but on the sheet, on the cell, I don't see everything. So, for example, if I move my cursor here and there, and definitely the formula will not be there because I have not selected that particular cell. But from the user point of view, you just understand that it is not telling what exactly entire set of text is saying because it is not visible. Yep, I've already removed. So now if I, just either ways, I just increase this particular length. Okay, this is a one way, but it is not looking good because there's a column which is saying max score has been unnecessary, been increased. And in terms of the good display, user will not do it. So I'll just do Control Z or undo, and I'll click on wrap text. Now there are something still misses. This for and then text case is not visible. For that, wrap text allow me, don't go by column, just increase little bit of row and you will see the entire text. Is it clear or still a confusion why we need to use a wrap text? Is it clear? Okay, great. करेक्ट। नहीं, ये बेसिकली मैं आपको थोड़ा सा और इसको सिंपल वे में समझाता हूँ। तो रैप टेक्स्ट बेसिकली क्या है कि वी हैव अ टेक्स्ट विच इज अ लॉन्ग टेक्स्ट जिसको हम इंक्रीज करके कॉलम लेंथ को हम दिखा पा रहे हैं। बट अगर हमारे पास में एक स्कोर कार्ड है जहां पर एक एक कॉलम के ऊपर कुछ इंस्ट्रक्शन लिखी हुई है, फॉर एग्जांपल देयर इज एन एम्प्लॉय आईडी नीड टू बी लेस देन 9 डिजिट एंड इट शुड नॉट कंटेन एनी अल्फाबेट, so these kind of information you may have seen in the scorecard or any set of data, and if you want to display in at every column or basically at on the top of every column or in front of every row, any sort of situation or any graph, you will need to add a wrap text because it will maximize the potential of displaying large text to the user without covering lots of space on your Excel sheet. Is it now clear? Okay, great. So now, till now, we just covered some of the basic thing. We just covered the cell, but also if we have some more minute, I'll try to wrap up this entire bits. So from the number, we covered the styles. We highlighted some condition. We can also do the format table. For that, just select and do the format whatever you want to. and it will convert it and create a table name. So you will see a small checkbox. My table has a header. So what it was saying that the name, score, and max score is already our header name. So if I select this, you will see another section has been open, a table design, and the table name is table 1 by default. So after this, you can select the cell type, and then in the cell you can insert, the insert, delete, and format. We will cover this in the later section, and then the editing we also cover in the later section. So this was the just demo. How the things work in the Excel. And what we covered is, let me repeat. This is the header section we covered, how the table, how the home tab, most of the section font, alignment, number, style, cells, and editings works, what format means, what wrap text means, and we also performs one just calculation. So this was just a basic overview and nothing much. And we did some simple data entry and formatting. So that's all from my side. Do you have anything in terms of the doubt, in terms of the question on this particular screen, whatever I have performed? करेक्ट 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 सो ये सेक्शन इस तरह से नहीं है कि मुझे एकदम से आपको एडवांस में सो आए मेरी एक नॉर्मल प्रैक्टिस है कि देर इज 10 स्टूडेंट और 2 स्टूडेंट और मे बी 100 स्टूडेंट आई जस्ट स्टार्ट बाय 0 and then go 1 2 3 4 5 because if I start from 5 there might be a case for the one, for the two, or for the three people that they might miss some of the basic thing. And in the latest scenario, if I am doing complex thing, I will not try to repeat the basic thing just to correct in order to, just unnecessary time waste. So that's why I just start from the zero. And this was all about in terms of how the training session work, um, and how do you feel my tempo is right for you guys, and do you feel the session is good? That's your feedback, and definitely I'll be sharing the feedback form after this call. And the timing we can discuss, if you are good, if you want to take another session or the continuous session, then we can properly formulate the schedule, and we can have a fixed timing for the weekends. So thank you so much for the time. Before I end this call, let me ask one more time. Do you have any doubts or any sort of question related to anything? Okay, okay, okay. Mohit, you were saying something. Can you provide your number on chat window? Yes, Lakshay. As you said, the time is good, so we can have the same timing for like 12:30 to 1 as of now. And okay, yeah. And okay. Anything, anything else, Lakshay and Mohit? Okay, let me take my phone and add you. So please provide your number. I'm writing it. 93 1078 3035. I repeat, 93 1078 3035. Mohit. Okay, Mohit. So I have your number. I'll add it after this session. I will, basically add your number in the group, and I'll also share the feedback form and the fee structure that I'm going to have for this Excel. And I'll also share most of the details in some of the more courses that we also offer. But I will not just give you a shopping list. So आपको जो चाहिए वो आप लो, but there's no definitely no कि आप ये भी पढ़ो वो भी पढ़ो ये भी पढ़ो. मेरी रिकमेंडेशन होती है आप एक चीज़ को पहले फॉलो करो, उसको कंज्यूम करो. एंड इन मोस्ट ऑफ द केसेस जब मैं ट्रेनिंग देता हूँ तो वहाँ पर there's like 70%, so there's good enough ratio जहाँ पर लोग एक चीज़ को समझते हैं, उसे पढ़ते हैं, बट दे डोंट यूज इट. सो उस केस में आपका जो भी सीखा हुआ पोर्शन है इट विल गो अवे. So until and unless you have a use, for example, I have a Python, I have a SQL, I have a RPA, Blue Prism, Automation Anywhere. So वो आप ले सकते हो, but if you have a need, if you have, I mean, in your practice, that's why. So I'll share all those things. That's was my sentiment towards my student, and that's all. Thank you so much for your time, and I wish you a good day later. Thank you. Oh, okay. Thanks, Gautam. Okay, bye bye. Thank you. Y- Yes, and let me also stop the record.